Imagine a voice drifting across the misty hills of central Kenya, tender yet fierce, stitching hope into songs that cradled broken spirits like a mother's lullaby. That voice was Beatrice Wairimu Mbugua, Betty Bayo to the world, a woman whose life unfolded as a melody of grit, grace, scandal, and redemption. Born June 4, 1985, in the modest bustle of Banana, Kiambu County, Betty arrived as the last-born of 8 siblings in a home where love overflowed but money trickled like a hesitant stream. Picture a little girl chasing fireflies at dusk, her giggles mingling with the scent of roasting maize, while her parents worked dawn to dark to keep the family afloat. From those humble roots, Betty learned that joy lives not in wealth but in rhythm, in the hymns hummed over evening chores, in the promise that every struggle carries a hidden verse of triumph. At just 40, on November 10, 2025, that voice hushed forever at Kenyatta National Hospital, leukemia stealing her breath but never her light. Today, as Nairobi's lights flicker against the night sky, we walk through her story, not as distant headlines, but as a love letter to a sister, a warrior whose faith still echoes in the wind. This is Betty Bayo, her laughter, her tears, her unbreakable spirit, and the legacy that whispers, even at the 11th hour, miracles arrive. Life in Ol Kalu, where Betty spent her earliest years before the family moved to Kiambu town, was a canvas of resilience and raw beauty. Matatus rattled past, Nyama choma sizzled on roadside grills, but for young Beatrice, church was home. The baby of the family, she was spoiled with affection, siblings spotting a divine spark in the girl whose voice could silence a room or lift it to the heavens. Her parents, though their names rest in private memory, planted faith as deep as the acacia roots outside their door. School, however, was a fragile dream. Money ran dry in Form 2, forcing Betty to trade textbooks for a maid's apron at 16. For 2 years, she scrubbed floors in Kiambu for 70 shillings a day, bones aching, heart heavy, tears staining her pillow at night. "I cried rivers," she later confessed, voice trembling like thunder over the savannah, but God whispered, "This is your forge, not your grave." With savings scraped from calloused hands and a stranger's kindness covering fees, she returned to class, clutching her secondary certificate like a hard-won trophy. Church pews became her true classroom, teaching her to turn pain into praise, to let her voice carry the weight of unspoken prayers. By her early 20s, Betty's gift could no longer hide in local choirs. Kenya's gospel scene, vibrant, soul-stirring, embraced her like kin. Singing in Kikuyu and Swahili, languages that tasted of home, she exploded in 2013 with 11th Hour. That song was lightning in a bottle, her voice climbing like ivy toward sunlight, pleading for divine rescue in life's final moments. In the 11th hour, God will make a way, she sang, raw with lived trials, and suddenly matatus blared it on dusty roads, choirs rehearsed it under starlit skies, mothers played it on cracked phones to hush their fears. It was medicine for a nation wrestling corruption, poverty, and quiet despair. More anthems followed, Gaiti Mundu, God is not a man, defying human failure. Atasimama na, I stand with you, a vow of solidarity. Nikahadwo, I love you, a divine love letter. Siyabonga, we thank you, gratitude erupting like a joyous storm. Her style was bare-bones beauty, no glossy production, just her, a guitar, and lyrics laced with Kikuyu proverbs. Awards came softly. Groove nods, Y254 chart climbs, a fanbase swelling into hundreds of thousands, drawn to her unpolished truth in a polished industry. Love, meanwhile, wove its own tender thread. In late 2011, Betty's heart synced with Victor Kanyari, a preacher whose sermons crackled with fire. Their private wedding was a moonlit vow, 2 souls chasing ministry side by side at Jesus Winter Ministry. In 2013, Sky Victor arrived, a daughter whose giggles filled their home like morning birds, inheriting her mother's eyes and father's zeal. But joy is fragile. November 2014 brought a storm. Muhammad Ali's Jicho Pevu expose unveiled Kanyari's miracle water scam, 310 shillings for false promises. Kenya reeled. Betty, dragged into the glare, stood by her husband as whispers turned vicious. "I was broken," she admitted years later, voice a hush over radio waves, tears tracing silent paths. But faith chooses redemption in the ruins. The scandal cracked their marriage. Betty navigated single motherhood amid public shaming, shielding Sky with fierce love. Her songs, Maneno, Words, a meditation on unspoken wounds, pouring pain into purpose. From ashes, Betty rose, scarred but stronger. She toured U.S. churches, Kikuyu hymns bridging oceans, and built a brand of music and empowerment. By 2025, her net worth, 10 to 15 million Kenyan shillings, flowed from album sales topping gospel charts, 50,000 shilling crusade fees, faith brand endorsements, and a YouTube channel where 11th Hour racked millions of views. It bought comfort, not excess. A Nairobi suburban home with sunlit gardens, avocados ripening on trees. A sleek SUV for coastal escapes. Ankara dresses in earth tones mirroring her grounded soul. Betty's days began with balcony Bible study, coffee steaming as the city woke. Afternoons mentored young singers, laughter spilling as she demoed vocal runs. Sundays meant Ugali feasts with siblings, stories flowing like the Athi River. Vacations were sacred, Mombasa beaches where she built sandcastles with sky, waves lapping at whispered dreams. Music was her breath, late-night studio sessions, lyrics scribbled by lamplight, voice-testing bridges between sorrow and song. Love returned gently. After 2 quiet years, Hiram Gitau, Tash, entered her world, his steady humor the counterpoint to past chaos. They met in gospel circles, bonding over verses and shy glances. Hiram embraced Sky and the family's complexities with open arms. Their December 2021 Horacio was second-chance joy, Lesos fluttering, dowry talks laced with laughter. Betty radiant in beaded finery, hand in Hiram's under elders' gaze. He loved all of me, scars, songs, single mom strength, she posted, hands intertwined beneath Psalm chapter 30 verse 5. In 2022, a son arrived, chubby-cheeked, completing their trio. Blended life had discords. Sky once vlogged the highs and lows of 2 dads, but Betty orchestrated grace. Joint dinners where Kanyari and Hiram shared plates and prayers, teaching her children love multiplies. Hiram rubbed her feet post-tour, joined food basket drives for Kiambu widows, their laughter a quiet rebellion. Shadows crept in 2025. Fatigue whispered, then roared, acute leukemia, sapping her vibrancy. She kept it private. September 2024 Diani posts glowed with family joy, matching outfits, Hiram hoisting their son, Betty's smile defiant. If not for God, it could be worse, she wrote November 7. Admitted to AAR Hospital, then Kenyatta National, she fought chemo leaving her frail, family vigils with Hiram's hand in hers. Sky reading Psalms in a voice beyond her years. Her last post, November 9, Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hours later, excessive bleeding 1. At 1 p.m., November 10, surrounded by love, Betty entered eternity. Kanyari confirmed first, R.I.P. Mama Sky, Bishop Kinge Mournda, Vessel of God. Kenya stopped. Tributes cascaded. Daddy Owen's Brotherhood, Naruia Jr.'s Facebook lament. At the hospital, Kanyari hugged a sobbing Sky, Hiram stood sentinel. Moronga representative Betty Maina spoke for the family. Heaven gains a worshipper. The funeral, in a sunlit Kiambu field, will echo with Siyabonga testimonies from mentees carrying her flame. Her legacy lives in mended lives. The mother who found courage in 11th Hour, youth groups mirroring her vulnerability, blended families inspired by her co-parenting grace. Scholarships fund girls like the house help she was. Her home hosts neighborhood kids learning guitar. Hiram cradles their son with her vision. Sky, in Texas, posts tributes laced with fire. Mom showed me one God, 2 dads. Betty taught a scandal's scar but don't define, love rebuilds, voices from hills reach heavens. In every Kikuyu gospel set, her songs play, a reminder that even in silence, music endures. If Betty's story stirred you, reach out to someone battling unseen storms, forgive a family fracture, sing your 11th hour praise. If this reflection touched you, please subscribe and like, it shares her light further. Comment. What song carried you through your darkest hour? Keep singing through storms. Rest in harmony, Betty Bayo. Your voice strengthens us still.